Equity is about realizing that every person comes at life from a different starting point and trying to find ways to ensure that they can still have the same opportunities to achieve. To do that, we need to be honest about how different people experience the world and make an effort to break down the barriers that impede them in their journey, whether those are large or small. I have seen women in my professional life championed based on their merits to take on roles that they would not have thought were available to them because of the constraints of their personal situation or for other reasons. I have also had the experience as a young practitioner of being the only woman in the room and having my opinion actively sought out when I would not otherwise probably have felt comfortable speaking up in that environment. I also remember having a colleague call out another colleague for making a gender-based assumption about the approach that I took to expressing an opinion. And these may seem like small things, but they are important. They indicate to others in the room that the value of all views should be recognised, and they set the standard for how to ensure that they are.
We know that women have an important role to play in society and in justice. And we have been quite comfortable with an idea that says equality is equity. But as we have looked around the world in the last 100 years, we have seen that mere equality is not enough. Equity is a thing. Because what equity does, it looks at fairness, it looks at justice, it looks at barriers to equality that may exist, and then must look at ways of overcoming that. In my own professional life, I've been fortunate to have had mentors and to have had access to quality education. Those have helped me very much in overcoming some of the barriers. But there are some softer things, including mentorship, I want to talk about. So when I became an attorney, first of all, my class in law school had more women than men. So that was quite a transition. But the profession was still predominantly male. So in the last 40 years, we have seen that transition where there are a lot more women in the profession. And as a result, maybe building of confidence among women to take on certain positions as presidents, committee chairs, committee members, and team leaders in their firms to try to access things like arbitration training, mediation training, and to deliver those services. Don't give up being a woman to participate in the space. Use the woman's skills, and often those are derided and misunderstood in popular talk. But I mean the ability to listen, I mean empathy, good decision-making, multitasking, all of those have been important for me and many other women I know in coming into positions of leadership.
I really wish I had lots of experiences and anecdotes or instances I could readily access and describe where I could say I've witnessed equity in practice in my personal or professional life. Sadly, however, I don't seem to. The truth is, and I'm sure there have been moments in equity, if you will, but they're outnumbered and therefore overshadowed by the fact that I've witnessed exclusion and discrimination more often than I've witnessed even attempts to afford equitable access to resources and opportunities. And honestly, I accept it. Accept is the wrong word. Expect is the word. I've always expected that it would be a struggle to make my mark or achieve my goals, given that as a minority in this country and in my chosen profession, I would likely sail against discriminatory winds and bucking bigoted seas. So I'm from that generation of, we were taught life's not fair. So I learned to see that struggle as part of the journey. I've been conditioned. Whether inequity is a bug rather than a feature will be for the historians to write. I'm still at sea, but I'm optimistic, and with celebrations such as this on International Women's Day, I journey in peace and with intention to be part of the solution.
When I started my practice, the number of women in international law field was very reduced. Since then, I've seen the increase of women participation. If we take a look at the law school today, women are the majority. At law firms, we are more than 50% as well. However, although we are occupying positions in law firms, positions in the academy. Although we can be the majority in numbers, we are not occupying leadership, managerial, or top positions. Very few women are in top positions. As for instance, in law firms, the number of women in managerial top positions or in partnership is only 34%. So I think that unfortunately we have to work towards equity. And we are going to get there when we have not only the same chances, the same opportunity granted to men, but also equal salaries.
One way to do that is to join gender diversity organizations like Arbitral Women, which unites women in international dispute resolution to support each other in the development of our careers. I'm fortunate to sit as a board member on the Arbitral Women Board and to support our members worldwide in furthering their careers.
In the past couple of years, what I've realized is that with, especially with ADR institutions, the more women are not afraid to come out and speak about their experiences and their experiences and expertise, the more they do that, the more opportunities they have. I mean, if you look at the ADR profession, I think it's actually led by a lot of women. So I think if ADR institutions continue to bring forward names of women who have excelled in the ADR profession, it would not be so much of an issue. When we look at we call the boys club, it's no longer a boys club because now women are saying, oh, I know this woman who is good in this area. I know this ADR professional who is amazing. I know this mediator or this arbitrator, and you are seeing them everywhere now. And I think some of the leading ADR institutions right now are led by women. I mean, the Ciarb and a couple of others I can't think of right now. But I know that if the institutions continue to put forward names of women who have excelled in the profession, it would help.
In a more practical level, I have seen various levels of ensuring equity. So first, the basic level when we just talked that it's good to have it. Then to have a commitment, let's promote equity. Then to report if you fulfilled your commitment, for instance, to different initiatives, to different rankings, etc., etc. And last is to publicly to publish information about your activity and whether you complied with this commitment. And it's also important that public scrutiny as such could make a wonder, could really change the situation. And probably this is like last resort for some problematic institutions or organizations, but it would work, I'm sure. And public scrutiny is a very powerful tool, and it could have an impact on many organizations and institutions and even personalities. And I have seen quite interesting effect of different public shaming, not in equity issues, but it's a powerful and really workable tool. And as a last resort, this could also change the situation for the better. But my general expectation that we need equity in all spheres of our life and profession, and that would obviously lead us to equity in ADR profession.